I have to say, the more time I spend on the Somerset levels, the more amazing it seems to get. Every time I come here, I see something completely different. Today, I'm going to share my passion for wildlife with Lisa and Scott, who want to make their garden go wild. A visit here should really enthuse them, especially if we see one of our rarest mammals, the otter, which is now making a welcome return to wetland areas. But can we encourage the plants and some of the animals that thrive in wetland areas into a small garden in the middle of a town? We're starting at Bridgewater on the edge of the Somerset levels because I've come here to meet Scott and Lisa, who I've heard would like to make their garden more wildlife friendly. Nice to meet you. Good. Can I see your garden?
Come on in.
Great, thanks.
I've lived in Bridgewater since I was 7. I moved to Plymouth for 3 years while I studied and then moved back to Bridgewater, which is where I met Scott. And after a couple of years, we bought this house together, and it's our first house. And we just wanted to make it our own, especially the garden, as we both like being out in the garden. We're both very interested in wildlife and wanted to garden for wildlife.
Welcome to our garden.
Thank you.
As you can see, it's quite small.
It is small, but the great thing is you've got a nice piece of lawn. It's a really blank canvas. You can do loads with it. But I think first and foremost, you should go out into the local area, see some of the local animals and plants, and get some inspiration. If you'd like your garden to be a welcome place for wildlife, then take a look at the wild country around you. We can't encourage everything we see into the garden, but we can make a start. The nature reserves on the levels are a combination of natural and man-made habitat. Peat was once extracted at the Shapwick Reserve, but it's now been restored to open water with extensive reed beds. Guys, this is the best reserve in Britain to see one of our rarest mammals, the otter. The only problem is, it's difficult for me. We're going to have to try and be as quiet as possible because they're really sensitive to disturbance, so we'll see how we get on.
Okay.
Cool. So guys, the hide is just round the corner, and that's where we're going to get ourselves parked and hopefully open the shutter windows and just sit and wait and see what happens. This is the logbook of the reserve. People write down their sightings. Look at that yesterday. Single otter at 11 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The day before, otter as well. Wonderful views of otter pretending to be mini Loch Ness monster.
Just rubbing in.
They are rubbing in 2 otters, 2 p.m, 1:55. Basically, I think they can just turn up any time. And it's suggested from this book the best areas right along there. So, see along that tree line there?
Right.
They may well be swimming up and down there, so that's the area we've got to concentrate looking. But they could be anywhere.
We got movement.
Where?
Over there. Left to right. Beyond the broken tree.
Where are you?
Is there?
What did you see?
Like the book was sort of saying earlier, he's doing this whole messy thing. You just sort of see the back and then disappearing down again.
They call that porpoising, where he just kind of comes in and out, yeah. See what now, actually.
Yeah, you see.
We have done brilliantly. I'm so chuffed to bits. I can't believe you saw it first, Scott, and then you saw it, Lisa, and I couldn't see it at all. And the thing you saw was that classic porpoising, where they're coming in and out of the water, and then you picked it up, Lisa. I hadn't even seen it by then, and you saw that classic V-shaped wake where the head sits up,
and creates this huge, big, shallow V in the water behind it. And that's often the first sign, that you see when you're looking for the otter. And the most amazing thing is, 20 years ago, this site didn't even exist. These are all peat workings. They've been flooded once they've stopped digging for peat, and it's creating the perfect habitat for otters. And they've said, thanks very much. They've come here, they're swimming up and down. There's loads of food for them. There's eel, pike, all manner of small fish. They're left undisturbed. There's no dogs allowed on the reserve. And so that's why we've seen them. Haven't we done well?
This country offers perfect protection for the otter. The common reed is abundant here, but the whole area is rich in plant and insect life. So I want Scott and Lisa to see some typical wetland plants they might be able to encourage in their own garden.
But look at all these green plants. Do you know what they are?
Haven't got a clue.
Well, it's quite difficult to tell at this time of year because you can't see the lovely yellow flowers, but this is flag iris or yellow iris. And this is one of the perfect plants for growing in a boggy area, alongside your pond in your garden. But when they flower in May and June, this lovely yellow flower just bursts out, and it's a gorgeous plant. And down here's another one. It's called meadowsweet, and you can see there it's got little paired leaves, and in between those paired leaves it's got little tiny leaflets. It's really distinctive. And come June, this will stand right up here in a big frothy flower head. Behind you over there we've got lots of rushes. You can see those little green spikes.
Yeah.
That's another plant that loves to get its feet wet. And around here there's ferns too. But the most important plant of all on the Somerset levels is something we're going to show you next. That plant is willow. This landscape is not renowned for its trees, but the willow has been here for centuries. It's even grown commercially in willow or withy beds. Today, small family-run businesses take a harvest off the land every year. Once cut, it's woven into baskets and other goods by the Coates family. And in the English hurdle industry, the willow makes great fencing for gardens. But there's even more you can do with this amazing plant.
Look at all these, wonderful. Nice colour, isn't it, that?
Living willow is a favourite with gardeners.
It's exactly the same. Do you fancy having to get this at your house?
Yeah, I think we could put this in, couldn't we?
It's really straightforward as well. Have a look at the willow. Basically, what they've done is collected stakes, literally stuck them straight into the soil, and from there it's carried on growing, and they've beautifully woven it and bound it around in these lovely shapes and created a hedge, a sculpture, a little hurdle, a bower. You can do anything with it. And Anne Coates is there to advise.
Can I help you at all?
Hello.
please.
Yes, what we're hoping to do is we're needing to build a fence approximately 4 metres in length, similar to what you've got in your demonstration up on the hill.
Right.
We don't want it too high.
You don't want it too
Probably
high.
about a metre.
Well, we've got the various kits here, so you don't want a wigwam and dome. Here we've got a fence
Right.
and arch. You might be a bit alarmed at the length there when you say you only want to be a metre
Yeah.
high.
About a
Right. Well,
metre
you've got
high.
here two varieties of willow, the Bimenalis and the Scalix Red. They're hardy willow rods. What you could do is to cut those in half if you say you want to go 4 metres, so that'll give you a greater length. And then when you've got them diagonally placed, you use the more flexible willow, the Scalix Tyandra. Very, very flexible rods these, and you can use them almost like string, and you can tie them to keep the diagonals. It's not sort of a scientific approach. Anybody can achieve this. And it's an individual fence you'll be achieving. You don't have to have any particular skills. So there we are, happy planting.
Thank you very much.
And,
Let's go to the car.
Excellent.
Wish I had one.
Got it?
Willow can be planted through winter and into spring. It likes its feet in water, and in that, it's not alone. In winter, these wetlands come alive with birds. Large numbers of migrating wildfowl find abundant food in protected nature reserves, where shallow water, submerged vegetation, and plenty of invertebrates provide everything they need. They might not look as exotic as the wildfowl, but one bird of the levels we can help in our gardens is the starling. The British population is seriously at risk. Numbers have fallen by 66% since the 70s. They need grassland to find earthworms, much of which has disappeared under crops. And they've also lost their traditional nesting sites, so putting up nest boxes for them can really help. But if you head for the levels on a winter evening, you might think they're doing just fine, because at this time the UK population is swelled by European birds. Well over 1 million starlings fly to roost in the safety of the reed beds every night. One of the finest wildlife spectacles in the world is right on our West Country doorstep. Join us in part 2 to see how Lisa and Scott go wild in their garden. Lisa and Scott from Bridgewater had a brilliant day out on the Somerset levels, looking at the wild plants and animals living on their doorstep. Now they have a chance to bring nature a little closer to home by creating their own wetland garden.
Last year we ripped out quite a lot of the garden because it was a very mature shrubby garden and we wanted to make our own mark on it. So it was basically a blank canvas and I was looking to plant for wildlife. I've got some photos actually of a starling family where we put some bread out for the birds and we had a starling family come and visit, and you had the fledglings and the parents and just took some lovely photos of them all together, sort of eating off our lawn, which was really nice.
If Lisa and Scott keep the lawn mown and chemical free, the starlings will be able to forage for those all-important worms. But if we're going to attract more wetland wildlife into this garden, we need all the ideas we can get. Looking to other local gardens can be a real help. Sandra Dilger at Shapwick uses willow as the formal centrepiece in her garden. It's coppiced or cut annually to keep it in shape. She also makes sure her garden welcomes wildlife too.
Right, I just want to show you this. This is interesting.
It's a tyre in the ground.
It is a tyre in the ground.
Okay.
My son and we decided to put this in as a sand pit for my grandchildren. But we discovered that once we'd put the lid on it,
Yep.
and the girls came and lifted it off, it was full of toads.
There's a toad in the handle.
There you go.
Would you believe it? I've got a little toad. A very small toad in a hole. That's brilliant. I think he's far too small to breed.
There are loads of toads all over my garden. And in the summer when I'm cutting the grass, I have to be very aware of little tiny ones because they hop away. Go on, then.
Lovely. What a great find.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe we should try and design something like this in your garden.
It's easy to do, isn't it?
Well, I've brought Lisa and Scott to meet Hilary Mackay, who lives right on the edge of the Somerset levels and has an amazing pond and wonderful bog garden. Let's see what's in the net, Hilary. Have a scoop. Let's have a look. Oh, there's stacks of stuff in there.
One.
Oh, come on then, fella.
What we've got here is a palmate newt. And you can tell it's a palmate because it's got that it's a male, it's got that lovely long tail and a tiny filament right at the end of the tail. And when he's attracting the females, he brings the tail right down by his flanks and wafts it like this to attract the females. What else have you got in there, Hilary?
We've got some ram's horn snails.
Obvious why they call that, isn't it?
Absolutely, like small ammonites.
Really?
They're feeding on algae. They're
Right.
algae feeders. And this one little chap just got dropped.
There you go. There's newts everywhere. They're all over the place. Lovely, it's gorgeous
They're
orange
going to die.
flash in their breeding plumage. That's amazing. It just shows how many newts there must be in the pond because you have one sweep of the net and we're all holding a newt. Isn't that amazing? Well, I think this is a wonderful oasis. It's one of the best garden ponds I've ever seen. I would give it a straight 10.
Well, this is Hillary's version of her bog garden. There's some amazing plants in here. Look at these beautiful royal ferns, just kind of slowly unfurling. And those yellow plants down there are marsh marigold or kingcup. Like the yellow flag, they like to sit right on the edge of the wettest area. And what she's done is, you can see that butyl rubber liner down there. She's put that right underneath this whole area to create a really damp, boggy environment.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to need this sort of space to grow.
I think you can have it as big or as large as you want. Obviously, she's got an enormous pond, but obviously you guys have got a slightly more smaller, conservative garden, haven't you? So something like half that, you know, you'd certainly get a few plants in, but I think in a few months... These wild gardens show Scott and Lisa just what can be done. It's time to get cracking on their own garden. How are we doing?
Not too bad. I think we found something we were looking at on the levels the other day.
There we go. That's a variegated iris, which means the leaves will be kind of like green and yellow, which will be gorgeous, and they like really damp areas, shady areas. Do you remember seeing these ferns yesterday at Hillary's garden? Well, they're quite young at the moment, but put these in, they'll do really well. And the great thing about it is they create loads of foliage in a really shaded area. Brilliant underneath for lots of insects to crawl away, and things that eat insects, like our toads or our frogs. So for a bog garden, it's spot on. That's absolutely perfect. Good for insects. If you get some dragonflies in the garden, they'll love to perch on the leaves. Bees will come around and take the pollen and nectar away. Fine choice, madam.
Creamy, orangey red.
Well, how about I pick one, you say no, then get the colour you like.
And whilst we've been doing the nice bit by choosing the plants, our garden expert, Charmaine Hawkins, has been creating just the right soil conditions for wetland plants to thrive. Charmaine, I've put the last of the compost for you.
Thank
Where would
you.
you like it?
Oh, just about here, please.
OK.
That's grand.
Well, you very kindly act as our horticultural advisor for this bog garden. And if you look at it, I have to say, it looks a bit like a flower bed, but it's not, is it? It's a special one.
No, well, it's actually, we have created here a bog garden because I started this morning by removing all of the soil, digging down to a depth of 45 centimetres, lining the hole with black polythene, which was punctured with the fork. That was in order to aid drainage, so whilst we need moisture retention, we certainly don't want rancid soil. And then on top of the polythene was a layer of gravel. And then in that is a seep hose. And then on top, a bag filled with all the soil.
What's the seep hose? Is that underneath?
It is, and it has two purposes, in fact. It can be used to water the plants at their roots, and it also provides some aeration to the roots, the plant roots.
Aren't you clever? Very smart. So what do they need to do to basically look after the garden once the plants are in? Is it easy to look after?
It is easy to look after because it will retain its own moisture, but should the moisture levels drop, then just water it as you would normally.
Well, I'm very excited. All we need now, I think, is the plants to go on, to be put in, and I think our bog garden's just about ready.
It certainly is.
Bring on the plants. Shall I plant the sedge here, Lisa?
Yes, please. Right.
Yeah.
Tap on the back. Ooh.
That's great. I think you should definitely have the honour of planting the horsetail.
Oh, definitely.
I know it's your favourite. There you go. That's it. Perfect. Look at that for a beautiful specimen. Wait till those steadily uncurl later in the summer and they'll come right up, fold out beautifully. That'll be wonderful shade underneath for all the little critters. They're going to hopefully come in the garden when they see this lovely bed.
I bet we get nothing now.
If the plants go in, I guarantee we will definitely get the insects and hopefully the amphibians too.
If you build it, they will come.
Indeed. Superb. Meanwhile, Scott has made a start on making the living willow fence. Slop a bit of water in there. Right then, got to get those diagonals working now, haven't we? Suppose we bind them up, do we?
Yeah, what I'm going to do is take all the ones in front of the fence and take them off to the left, across
Yes.
one pole completely.
Yeah.
Like so. And for the back ones, the opposite way, to give us a nice mesh. And hopefully when these leaves grow, give us the thickness.
It's going to look absolutely gorgeous, isn't it?
The plants that we saw yesterday, for example, the marsh marigold, the ferns and the iris, I really like them, and I'd never really thought before about, bringing wild plants. Obviously you can't bring them home, but bringing wild plants and actually cultivating them in your own garden. And obviously with that, you'll be bringing the wildlife that are obviously attracted to them, like, your dragonflies and your butterflies, and hopefully a toad. That would be really nice. So just a little bit of countryside in your own back garden. You can sit back and enjoy it.
So in the height of the summer, we'll have a few yellows left. We'll have the lovely yellows as well from the irises. We'll have the frothy white from the meadowsweet. We'll have the lovely green of the fern at the back and the pink of the astilbe. It's gonna look beautiful.
It's going to look lovely.
Scott, almost done. What are you doing now?
Mate, right. It's got me screwing up. Hopefully it's nice and level.
Yep.
I'm just going to take the top nice and trim. And hopefully that will be it. Once all the leaves come up, we'll have a nice little fence. Living willow.
It's looking absolutely superb. I can't believe how well you've done. The green, the red, the leaves will come up. And actually, for sticks in ground, it is remarkably firm. Well done, mate. I'm looking forward to coming back and seeing how it's growing in the summer.
Absolutely.
Lisa, where would you like to put the toad?
Mike the toad.
Because it's ugly, like me.
I think we should put him there.
Shall I put the ladybirds right at the very front so you can see them from your lounge window? Because we've got the plants in place, it's only a matter of time before the insects and amphibians arrive. Somerset Wetland Garden, there you go. Brilliant job.
Excellent.
Join us next time when we'll be visiting the dramatic coast and wild gardens of West Cornwall, and we'll uncover the wild side of the lost gardens of Helligan. Until then, goodbye.